Okay, so I have been working on the second draft of my book for 78 days. That is absolutely wild to me. I don't understand why it's taking so long, quite frankly. I mean, I guess I do, because I rewrote the entire first act because I wanted to rewrite the entire trope. This then changed the entire dynamic of my characters, which had this ripple effect of changing a lot of other scenes along with it. But this is it. This is the week I'm going to finish this damn second draft, even if it freaking kills me. I'm starting this vlog today. Here's the thing. I only have like 10 pages left, like 9.5 actually pages left. So you would think that I would get done with it in a day, but I only have about an hour a day, if that, to actually work on my book, because I have a full-time job, I've got animals, I've got movement, food, all kinds of things that have to fit into my life with writing that are crucial. And writing, unfortunately, isn't as crucial. Join me this week as I actively try to finish this damn novel that has taken me 78 days so far. So let's actually figure that out. Let's actually figure out how many pages. So I've completed 179 pages, and we'll divide that by 78. That means I have worked on like a little over 2 pages a day. That means that I might finish it this week. Anyway, let's have some fun. Starting tomorrow morning, we're going to work on as much as I possibly can, and hopefully we can finish this book in a week. Let's go. Good morning. Here we are. Day 1 of like trying to finish this draft, which is already starting out really crappy because it's currently 7:15, and I am just now sitting down with breakfast. So I had a rough night. I kept waking up constantly. So when my alarm went off at 4:30, which is normally fine, I just was not feeling it. It was rough, but I still got on my elliptical, did my 30-minute workout on that, made breakfast. I have this shake that I have every morning, and it's delicious. It's spinach, an assortment of different protein powders, and bananas and berries. So, and then my food, a multi-grain bagel with flaxseed, topped with goat cheese, and then cheesy scrambled eggs, which is delicious. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I tend to have really big breakfasts and then smaller lunches and dinners. Unless I'm super hungry, then, you know, I eat whatever my body wants me to eat. But so basically I only have 45 minutes to write this morning. So starting on page 179 of 188 pages in total of this Word doc. So I'm curious about how far I'm gonna get, because sometimes like it goes really, really fast because there's not a lot that I need to reword. I just need to fix some grammatical thing or change a word here and there because I used a weird word or whatever. But then there are some days where I'm like, this entire thing is trash and I need to reword the entire damn thing. Given that we're almost done, literally like 9.5 pages left, I'm really hoping there's less of those and more of the, this is actually pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep most of this, but I guess we'll find out. So let's get to work. Okay, it is just before 8 a.m. and I have to log into work at 8:15, so let's get caught up. So yeah, I actually got some good work done today. Ended up being a lot of adding context instead of it being like rewording a bunch of stuff or anything like that. Like it was just adding a bunch of context because there was stuff where I was like, you know, more, I could do more here. I could add things. So there was a lot of typing, a lot of adding of words. As a matter of fact, I added a total of 517 words today. So, I mean, not a ton, but like for 45 minutes, that's actually a decent amount. When I'm writing a first draft, sometimes I can write 1,000 words in an hour. So given the fact that I was working within certain context, that's quite a bit for me. There are now 189 pages. I'm not sure how far down on that last page it goes, but I'm thinking pretty decently. I'm scrolling to find out. Yeah, it's almost to the end of that page. So it might end up, depending on where I land, there's a very good possibility that I'll end up with yet another page of words. So now I'm on page 181 and I'm almost done with page 181. So I started on page 179. Not very many pages complete, but like, I don't know, this book is becoming my Everest Managed to get through 2 pages. This has been a constant thing with this book. Like I said, I do know the beginning was really hard because I was rewriting the entire first act because I was changing the entire trope. But I've also learned a lot about writing since I wrote this first draft. Since I wrote this first draft, I read like 50 probably. I would have to go back and actually look at the total count. But like 50 romance novels between then and now. And that really does change the way you look at the way things are worded. I mean, I'd read romance novels before that, obviously, but like I had read more contemporary ones because the ones that I used to read were from the 90s and 80s and stuff. So more contemporary and more in line of what the industry is looking for now, that kind of thing. So I've read a lot, I've learned a lot since then. And so, yeah, I mean, it changes a lot about the way you look at how things are worded. And so I am not the same writer I was a year ago. I finished this more than a year ago, but I am not the same writer I was back then. And that's a good thing. I should always be learning and growing. That's kind of the point. That's the beautiful thing about art is you're never perfect at it. There's always something you can learn, a new technique, a new thing, a new element to it. There's always something you can learn. And so I don't find that discouraging that I was like, oh God, this was not well written before. It was for the way that I was writing. And that's what's important. And that's what's important to remember. So anyway, yeah. So I got some good work done. So I am currently now then sitting at just about 96% of the way done. I stopped specifically, 1, because I needed to do this vlog update, but also 2, I got to a very pinnacle moment in the book and I wanted to really devote some time to it. So I was like, you know what? This might be better if I hold this off until tomorrow, because this is like the moment that everything changes at the end of the book. So, I mean, there are a lot of moments that you like are pinnacle for this book, obviously, but like this is the thing that like really sets off the true ending of the book. So I really wanted to devote some time to it. So tomorrow is going to be probably a big rewording day just based on where I know that I am. It actually kind of caught me by surprise. I was like, I know it's coming, but like, I don't know when. And then it showed up. So that's where I'm at. We will check in again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place, hopefully a lot sooner because like I said, I had a really rough morning. So hopefully tomorrow morning I'll have already had breakfast and been done with this. So, all right. Anyway, well, I will check back in with you guys tomorrow. Good morning. I'm in a much better spot this morning. I still have this. It is now just 10 after 7. I am starting on page 181 of 189 pages. I'm currently sitting at 87,104 words. That just feels like so much. And I only say that because between my beta reader section of editing and my actual editor, I increased the word count by quite a bit, but maybe that won't happen with this book anymore because I've been going through it with a very fine-tooth comb of like, hey, this could be added to, or if I were reading this book, I would want more here. And that's the beautiful thing. Let me fix this up a little bit. I'm going to go into further detail as to why I draft the way that I draft, which is I give my books time. I don't just jump right into editing. Like I don't finish a first draft and then go, time to edit, because I feel like that's counterintuitive when you're doing any kind of self-edit. And I'll go into further detail about my theory and things like that in a more substantial video where I'm, there and talking, not like this. Got my workout in, I got my shower in. Yes, my hair looks like this, and that's because I only wash my hair a few times a week, but I cleanse the rest of my body every day. Okay, so I'm at the very end. I'm pretty sure this is the last chapter. I might actually add, I might actually add, depending on where this chapter actually ends, I might add another one because I've had this inspiration for like an additional piece of story that I don't remember putting in here, but it might be. Because again, I haven't touched this. I haven't read this part of the book, or I haven't read this part of the book ever, but like I haven't looked at this part of the book in more than a year because I finished this March of last year, maybe even February of last year. I'd have to look back. I know that there's going to be a little addition. There's going to be an additional scene that I'm putting in right away. So I'm going to go right into that. After that, then I'm going to go ahead and just reword whatever I need to really make this scene wildly visceral, because this scene is, like I said yesterday, this scene is the scene that changes everything. At the end, it's what kind of puts the end into place, even though we are at literally the end. It makes sense in my head, okay? Anyway, on to writing. Let's do this. Okay, so it is now 8 o'clock and I have to get logged into work in about 15 minutes. And this is as far as I've gotten with my smoothie. I was really into writing this morning because this is a very, like I said, pinnacle moment in the book. I wrote a lot of stuff. I'm actually at a good stopping point because, again, much like yesterday when I was like, I really should stop here because I want to give this next moment all the time it needs. Same kind of thing. I need this next scene to give it all the time it needs. So I don't want to feel any kind of rushed or like stop and pick it back up. Like I want to sit down and really focus on it. So I'm stopping at the bottom of page 183. So again, only a couple of pages completed, but it's worth spending the extra time, especially like the way I thought about like the beginning, like the first act. I'm like, it's important to spend the time to really rewrite this trope so that it fits a little bit better into the series. But now this ending is where I really need to land, where I really need to stick the landing. I really want this to feel worth it, and I really want this to feel poignant, and I really want this to feel like it was earned. That's what I'm really trying to focus on. I love this book. Have I loved all of the books I wrote, like the 2 I've released so far? Yes, I love those books too. There's something about this book that just, I remember feeling this way last time I wrote this, like when I wrote the first draft, I remember feeling this way. Oh, I just love it. It's so good. Anyway, my battery is dying, so I need to get that charged up. And I need to get, like I said, logged into work. So I need to finish taking care of the dog for the morning and need to get logged in. That's the beautiful thing about working from home, is that I can work up until the point that I have to log in. Anyway, so I will see you all tomorrow with date number 4. Well, technically day number 3, I guess, of this vlog, but also of like me really trying to get this finished up. And I really do feel like I will finish this by the end of the week because there's Thursday and Friday left. And I'm really thinking that the epilogue is going to go a lot smoother because the epilogue is mostly actually setting up the second book than it is really an epilogue, if that makes sense. Because by the time I got to the epilogue, I knew that it was going to be a duology. Didn't know it was going to be a whole series yet, but I did know at least it was going to be a duology. So I used the epilogue to kind of set up the second book. That's where we're at. So yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. All right, we have another hair washing day. And I'm actually like, well, to be fair, it is 7:30, so I don't have as much time as I did yesterday to work on stuff, but that doesn't matter. We'll be fine. Tomorrow morning, however, looks very different because I have to work the late shift at my job, which means I don't start work until 10:15 because I have to work until 7 p.m. and I have a 45-minute lunch. So tomorrow morning I'll have a lot more time. So I have a feeling that tomorrow, as long as I can get my crap together, I should be in a pretty good place. I managed to actually get through everything I needed to this morning personally. Like I got up, took the dog out, I got on my elliptical, took a shower, and yeah, so for those of you who followed me for a very long time, I bet you didn't know that my hair is naturally wavy. I straightened it for a very long time, which is hilarious because I've always wanted beach waves and that's just what my hair naturally is, but I just never knew that because I never properly took care of my hair, which meant that it was just frizzy all the time. So I straightened it to dampen the frizz. Now I know how to take care of it. So had breakfast, having my smoothie now. I just kind of sip on throughout the morning. I am very excited with where I'm at. Last night I actually wanted to work on the book more, but I just chose not to because I was like, I don't want to burn myself out. Like I know that I'm excited and that's great and I want to be excited, but I also want to be careful about that excitement because sometimes I get so excited about my book and so excited about working on it that I don't think about the fact that I still work 40 to 50 hours a week, that I still have my animals to take care of, that I still have to get my movement in and take care of myself just in general. So then I just kind of like hyperfixate because of my neurospiciness. I hyperfixate and then I burn myself out very quickly. And I'm trying to learn balance and keep balance and be good at balance. So even when I'm like, you know what, I really do want to work on my book right now, I also need to take that step back and be like, or I could spend the evening relaxing, playing Pokemon. If you ever saw I also have a Switch 2 now, by the way. It's my 40th birthday present to myself. I am also trying to be very, very careful about burning myself out because I know that about myself, and so I know that I need to be careful with stuff like that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still at the end. I'm at page 183, at the very bottom of page 183 of 190 pages. The actual book itself, which again, I'm probably gonna add stuff to. We'll see how many words that ends up being, but 2.5 pages left as the ending exists right this second, and then the rest of it is the epilogue setting up the second book. So that I think will be very quick. I'm very confident that I'll finish it tomorrow morning. Very, very confident that I'll finish it tomorrow morning. So, all right, let's get to work on this, shall we? Okay, it is now a little after 8 a.m. and I'm still sipping on this. I got through a page and a half, but that's okay because this one had a lot of rewrites. This is the final spicy scene of the book, and I wanted, because it's about hooking up, so like I wanted the spice to last through the end of the book, basically, because the whole thing is like literally them hooking up. So to finally have a spicy moment, kind of in that moment of like final surrender to love, it's a contemporary romance. What do you want from me? Okay. So I really wanted to make this a very emotional kind of spicy moment, where some of the other ones are a little bit more like hot and hungry. This one is definitely very longing, and wanted to make sure I got it down just right. And what's funny is I felt like I was writing a lot because I was rewriting a lot, but I actually have less words than I started with. So I'm ending at 87,447 words, and I started at 87,501 words. I actually erased words technically through my rewrites, which works. But yeah, feeling good about it. Am I feeling perfect about it? No, but that will come. That's why you do multiple drafts. That's why you have other people read your book before you release it. I mean, I have so many I'm not going to sit here and gatekeep. If you can't afford an editor, you can't afford those things, I fully get it because it's expensive. My author business is not yet profitable. I get it, it's expensive. I'm lucky that I have been able to afford it. And who knows if I'll be able to continue to afford it with the way the prices are going these days. I do think there are things that are crucial to the author, the business of being an author, especially if you're an indie author. And having other people aside from you assist you with editing in some way, shape, or form, whether it be feedback or actual editing, is crucial because you're too close to the project. You write the way that you want to write and the way that you like things being written. And sometimes you have blind spots, and it's important to recognize that. Anyway, that's a whole different concept for a whole different video one day. Am I feeling great about where I'm at? I mean, kind of. I'm feeling good about it for sure, but it's not perfect, and that's just me having to work with my inner editor. But yeah, so I'm in a good spot. I have literally essentially a page left before the epilogue, the final chapter before the epilogue. I need to read the rest of it and then decide if I want to add the little pieces that I've been thinking about adding. It wouldn't be a lot. It wouldn't all of a sudden make it 10,000 words more. Sorry, Kay, it's not gonna be 100,000. I am thinking about some fun things that I've been, kind of daydreaming in my head for this book, but we'll see if they fit. If not, I'll make notes of them and use them in another book some other time. And that's the beautiful thing about when you kill your darlings or whatever, you can keep the idea and use it in another book. There are things that lines that I erased from this book that I love, but because I changed the trope, they no longer work. But I could use them for another Rivals to Lover storyline some other time. I have those notated somewhere, and just in case I ever want to dive into my book ideas or my line ideas, I have that available to me. So anyway, I'm running a little late. So I should probably end this clip, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the day that I will finish this book. Like, I am determined to finish this book tomorrow morning because I don't start work until 10:15 instead of 8:15. So I have an extra 2 hours tomorrow to work on this. So, yeah, let's get to work, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Now, could I write while walking on my walking pad? Yes. But I like to walk fast, so I tend to do my walking pad stuff while I'm decompressing, taking a break, or I'm watching an edit, things like that. Like watching a YouTube video edit, stuff like that. So anyway, can I help you? Why'd you give me that? Do you want me to fold it? Well, if you want me to fold it, you need to give it. I guess we're not playing a game today. I can't wait to actually put my actual shades up instead of hanging this blanket in my window, but the sun is just too aggressive in the afternoon and evening. If you've been to my streams with Kay, you would know that this window causes a lot of agony for me. I have 2 windows in this room, which is nice. One of which is in a much better spot. Anyway, I'm getting a much later start than I normally do, but that's because I knew I was starting work much later today, so I could have a little bit more of a lazy, laid back morning, which was nice. I mean, it's only 7:30. It's not that bad. Like, I think I started around this time yesterday and I still had my smoothie, my shake, whatever you want to call it. I just finished that up because I was watching some YouTube, playing Pokemon, because that's what you do when you're almost 40. Let's just go ahead and get started. I'm gonna finish this today. I have 5 pages left. I've pretty much convinced myself that I am going to add this final chapter before the epilogue that I don't currently have. I've convinced myself of that before reading the actual end because I don't remember where I actually leave these. I mean, it's a contemporary romance. What do you want from me? They're in love, but I don't remember exactly where I left them, right? Like, maybe it is a solid ending and I don't need this final chapter that I've been thinking about in my head for days at this point now, but I've pretty much convinced myself that it probably needs it. So I might be more than 5 pages away because this final chapter will probably add a few pages, if not another 5 pages. So fun fact, I actually will highlight the line that I leave off on if I don't leave off. I mean, I still do it even if I leave off on chapter break because sometimes computers like to restart on their own because of, updates. So sometimes I have to reload the entire document and it'll load up at the very top and it won't like do the normal pick up where you left off thing. So I have learned if you're going to use Word to write your book, highlight where you leave off when you're doing your edits, because otherwise you'll be spending way too much time trying to remember where you left off because I have no memory. So I highlight, literally just I highlight it and then I use the actual highlight tool in Word and I just highlight the line that I left off on. Very helpful. I suppose we should get to work on this, huh? Instead of chatting. We'll unhighlight because otherwise my document will just be random highlights throughout and I'll be like, why did I highlight that? And then remember, oh, because this is probably where I left off and forgot to unhighlight it. There probably are some of those. I almost always find at least one of those moments where I'm like, I forgot to unhighlight this when I go through another pass. So, and this will definitely go through another pass before it goes to another person. I could just highlight the entire document and then just say no highlight. That just sounds too easy. Okay, for real, getting to work. $75 days. It has been 75 days. I looked it up on TikTok. I looked it up at the beginning of this vlog too. It has been 75 days. I cannot tell you how good it feels to be done with this second draft. I mean, I love this book. I love this story. I love everything about it. It is genuinely, I struggle to say my favorite thing I've ever written because I've written many things that I love and I don't want to downplay any of them. But this got me out of a writing funk that I didn't even know I was in at the time. Like, I didn't even know I wanted to write this book. I had started 3 different book ideas and I don't even remember all 3 of them. I remember one of them, which I don't know if I'm ever actually gonna write, but I started 3 different book ideas because I wasn't sure what I wanted to write. I wasn't sure if I wanted to write this one or one of the other 2 because I was excited about all of them to an extent, but also not excited about any of them. So I was like, all right, I'll write one day, I'll write another one another day, and I'll write another one another day, and then see which one sticks. Like literally, it was just me trying to like figure out what my brain wanted to write. And this is the one that stuck. And by the time I got about halfway through, I realized I wanted to make it a duology. It eventually evolved, as you guys know, into a 7-part book series. And I don't know, this book is so good. It's genuinely so good. And I mean, I struggle to say that because I know what it sounds like, because misogyny is still rampant in today's world, just rampant. And it's not okay for women to be proud of themselves. It is not okay for women. It is very much okay. I'm just saying societally, systemically, it is not okay for women to be proud of themselves. It is not okay for women to appear at all immodest, to be proud of what they've accomplished, or to know their worth or anything like that. It's not okay for women to feel that way. My programming, which is still there, I mean, I have been deconstructing my internalized misogyny for years. The programming is still there, unfortunately, and I think it will be for a very long time, if not my entire life, right? So like, I struggle with saying that I am so proud of this and that this is such a good book, but I'm still saying it. I cannot believe I've finished it. Like 75 days have been spent working on this second draft, rewriting the entire first act because I wanted to change the trope, which changed so much throughout the book. There were moments I was like, this is really, really weak. I get what I was going for here, but this was really, really weak. And so I fixed it. I mean, if I were to pull up the first draft. So I added, oh my God, I didn't expect it to be that low. I even think I looked at this relatively recently. I added 27,626 words to this book. Means on average, I wrote about 368 words a day. I did take some days off, and there were some days that were a lot heavier in the actual writing of things. Like I added 2,000 words here, I added 4,000 words here, but 27,626 words added to this draft. That is substantial. I went from 134 word pages to 193. How did that happen? I mean, to be fair, and I do want to go into this in like a, more topical video where I have my thoughts nicely laid out about kind of I mean, I've already talked about how the first draft is supposed to suck, right? I've already talked about that. If you haven't seen it, click, it's good. I didn't expect it to be that huge of a difference. And maybe that's just the difference of who I was as a writer a year ago, or more than a year ago now technically. But when I first started writing started the second draft, it was about a year. Maybe that's just because I was such a different writer a year ago than I am right now. And I mean, that's a good thing. That's the beautiful thing about being an artist of any sort, is you get to always be learning. You're never going to be a master at what you're doing. You can be good, but I mean, I bet you even Stephen King will tell you he still learns things about writing that, he didn't know before, or a technique that he's never tried before, things like that. That's the beautiful thing about being an artist. And any artist that doesn't say they're continuing to learn, or that they have mastered their art, they haven't, and they're lying, or they're not true artists. It's just crazy. I am so happy that I finished it though, because that's the thing, is like, I was starting to believe it was never going to be done. Like I kept seeing the page that I was on increasing, and I kept seeing the percentage increase whenever I would look at that at the end of the day to see how much further I have to go. But there was this part of me, it's like those dreams, right? Where you're running away from something, or running to something because you're running away from something or whatever, and you just can't get there. Like it's almost like it keeps getting further and further away the faster and faster you run, like those kinds of dreams. That's the way this felt. Honestly, I knew I was progressing, but it didn't feel like I was progressing. And now here we are. I finished way later than I thought I was going to. I really did not think it was going to take me 75 days to complete this damn second draft. It genuinely needed it. And not because the writing wasn't good originally, it was fine, it was great, but there were so many things. I mean, again, the first draft is supposed to suck. I've made a whole video about it, but there were just things that I knew about this series now that I wanted to foreshadow and wanted to put into the book. I needed to add a whole character into this book because I decided I needed more connection to the band that ultimately is the centerpiece of the rest of the series. So I needed to incorporate that band further, and I needed to make connections and things like that. And so I did. And so there were characters I had to add and things I needed to do. And it just feels like a more evolved world now. And it feels like a more connected series, which makes me happy, because that's the problem, is I wrote this as a standalone. It wasn't until about halfway through that it was supposed to be a duology, and then it wasn't until halfway through the second book that I realized it was going to be a series. So like this felt so disconnected, because originally it was just the duology concept was two best friends who end up with men that they can't stand initially. And so that's why I went to the love to hate for both of them, because I was like, well, that's a fun little concept. Two best friends who end up finding the love of their life in a person that they never expected. That was the plan. And so when it became a series, I knew that I needed to pivot, and I did. Unlike Ross.
Pivot! 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 Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
I was able to pivot. I was able to make this fit and make it work, and now it does genuinely feel like part of the series, which makes me happy. Oh, I can't believe it. It took me so freaking long. Well, thank you for joining me on this journey to finishing my second draft, because God knows I needed an accountability partner that won't see this until well after it's done being edited, but whatever. I love how many times I have said publicly, oh, I think I'm gonna finish this book before this happens. Like the last 2 live streams. There was also my last author update upon filming this vlog, where I was like, I'll probably have finished the first draft of that by the time this video is edited. No. That video went live over a week ago. I'm gonna leave this vlog here. I hope you guys like this new concept of mine of author vlogs like this. Let me know in the comments, because I've got a few more ideas that are cooking in the brain. I'm just gonna revel in the fact that I finished the second draft now. I'll see you all next time. Bye.